What's up, spectators? Welcome back to the episode of Dream Daddy. Last time we went on the second meetup with Craig. We went for a run, found his daughter's doll, and then we had a bonding moment with Amanda. Now we're gonna go speak with Matt again. Instead of messaging the guy, why don't I just walk over and grab some coffee? I'm feeling really sluggish today anyway. Amanda! Amanda sticks her head out of her room. Father, wanna go to the coffee spoon? Oh, so you get called cool once and now you're the cool dad who hangs out at coffee shops and listens to neo jazz and stuff? Amanda, are you gonna bring your laptop and your leather-bound journal so you can work on your poetry anthology? Look, honey, do you want me to buy you coffee or not? Let me grab my laptop and my leather-bound journal. Amanda and I make the short walk over to the coffee spoon. The place is quiet today. Just a few people hanging out and reading books in the cozy little nooks. I walk up to the counter and see a familiar, pierced face. This is a family establishment, sir. You can't just be dressed like this. You were the dude I yelled at a bunch the other night.
Aww.
Amanda casts a sideways glance at me. He tried to sell me shirts. And who might you be, miss?
Aww.
This is my daughter, Amanda, the person I am a father to and am very protective of. An honor to make your acquaintance. My name is Pablo. Did I mention that I make witch house music? I wouldn't call witch house music, but okay. Wow.
Ugh.
A piercing blow to my ego, though not one that will dissuade my need to impress you. My innate dad sense tingles. Senses tingle. I am overwhelmed with the fatherly protective energy. I must do something to protect my child. Anyways, Pablo, I didn't know you worked here. Yeah, man, today's my first day. Matt's still training me. Matt comes out from washing dishes in the back room to meet Amanda and I. He and I high-five as fellow cool people do. I see you met my newest employee. At your service, although I'm only here until my Vacant Veil starts their world tour. When's that? Well, we have to put out a record first.
Hey.
All right, Pablo. Now, what do we do with customers again? Right, yes. Pablo clears his throat. Hello, good folk of Maple Bay. Can I interest you in a tasty caffeinated beverage? A smashing pumpkin spice latte, please. Classic. And you? Ugh, decaf. Americano football, please.
Hey.
Our coffee is as strong as that band's feelings. Good choice. I don't get it. American football is a sport, but it's also this emo band that made a good album and then waved over a decade and then made another good album, and their music was very sad and sometimes featured sad trumpets.
Oh.
And I'm over-explaining the joke again. Coming right up. Pablo gets to work making our drinks, and while Matt observes him.
Hey.
He'll get the hang of it. For as goofy of a dude as he is, kid works hard. Ugh. Hey man, that concert was a lot of fun. We should hang out again.
Hey.
Hell yes!
Hey.
I'm actually gonna be done training Pablo in a couple hours, and was gonna go record shopping, not record shopping. Wanna come along? Absolutely.
Hey.
Pablo brings us our drinks, and Amanda buries herself in her laptop. I spend my time sipping my drink and cracking jokes with Matt. Last time we hung out, he told me that he had trouble hanging out with other people, but for some reason, he and I can talk and joke like old buds. It's weird. I feel comfortable. Once Matt feels comfortable leaving Pablo on his own, I say goodbye to Amanda and we start walking to the record store.
Hey.
Have you ever been here before? No, I mean, we have a record player sitting in the living room, but all I have are 2 copies of Frampton Comes Alive.
Oh.
This should be fun then. We're gonna find you some good stuff. The walls of the store are packed with posters, artwork, stickers, and records. A few people mill around, flipping through milk crates of albums. Some indie band is playing through the speakers. It's a nice vibe. So, why do people still buy records? Isn't it kinda outdated at this point? This guy. Records are totally coming back.
Oh.
There's a lot of people who'll try to tell you that vinyl sounds warmer or more true to the artist's intent, but really I think it's just nice to collect records.
Yeah, sounds great.
It's cool that in this day and age, we have just about every song ever created available instantaneously on our phones. But there's something about holding an album and getting to see the artwork in your hands that I'll always love.
Hey.
That's why I try to get as many of the records that I love in physical form as possible. Remember when we were kids and would have to wait around by the radio with the cassette tape so that we could record our favorite songs?
Hey.
It made each listen really special, and mixtapes were even cooler because of how much work they took. Now you just make a playlist. I think the last time someone gave me a real mixtape was in high school.
Hey.
I look around the multi-level record store and spot some genres. Future wave, jungle, anarcho-punk, nunsploitation. I have no idea where to even start. This is a little overwhelming.
Hey.
Here, let me help you find something you might like. If you were a milkshake, what flavor would you be? Oh, yeah. No peanut butter flavor, which is kind of ridiculous for a milkshake, but whatever. If you could only buy one type of candle scent for the rest of your life, what would it be? Why are they like all flowers and naturey? Have you guys ever smelt the Hershey's candle? Don't light it, because it doesn't smell as great as it seems, but you pop that thing open and it's like you're smelling a chocolate bar. Any dessert candle smells pretty great. But if we're gonna go with these, just go with the simple mountain spring.
Hey.
What's your favorite ambient sound? Rain. Dream vacation spot. Baltics. Why would anyone go to the Baltics? That place has such a small population. What's your deepest, darkest fear? Oh. Oof. Dark. Too real. Matt thinks for a moment.
Huh?
I know, just the thing.
Hey.
Matt runs to the other end of the store and returns holding a record behind his back. He shows it to me. This is Trouble Will Find Me by The National. The National have honed their sad guy sound on album after album, and by this point they're old pros about feeling blue. The music's amazing that it'll actually cheer you up. Whoa, thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah, sounds great.
You're gonna have a great time with it, promise. Matt and I bring our records to the cash register. A young girl with a septum ring and a buzz cut stands behind the counter with one earbud in. Usual stuff today, Matt?
Hey.
Just some light pickups. Matt places 3 albums on the counter. Swear I'm Good, At This by Diet Sig, Forever by Mystery Skulls, and Greatest Hits by Remo Drive. Tight.
Hey.
The cashier rings up Matt up and hands back his albums in a bag. She stares at me suspiciously. Who's the nerd?
Hey.
That nerd is my buddy. Karate, this beacon of human charm is Molly. I got kicked out of art school for destroying my paintings at the end of every critique. Lovely to meet you. Anyway, Matt, is the open mic night still on?
Hey.
You know it. Are the Third Waves gonna do a special acoustic performance? I might see if I can get a few of the girls together. There's an open mic night, no,
Oh.
Yeah, dude, we do it every month at the Coffee Spoon. Some amazing talent always comes through. Got a flyer for it right here in my hand. You and Amanda should come by.
Oh, man.
I mean, if you're not doing anything.
Oh.
Will Vacant Veil be playing?
Hey.
If only. Man, what a trip down memory lane. I haven't been in a record shop like that since Vans had shag carpeting. Isn't it strange to think of all these weird little musical memories? What do you mean? Well, I think music is a very time and place sort of thing. A song is important to me not only in that I think it sounds good, but where I was and what I was doing when I listened to it. There's music that reminds me of exes, of struggling through school, being poor,
Hey.
all that stuff. And listening to those songs reminds me of those moments of my life. Yeah, even the pop concert Amanda made me take her to is special to me. I mean, I'm not really a fan of the band, but hearing their songs on the radio reminds me of how young and excited Amanda was.
Hey.
And then that even reminds me of a younger me going to see my favorite bands in concert with all my friends. We would always go to my friend Cynthia Chapman's house beforehand and smoke pot in her basement like we were so slick. Her parents definitely knew what we were doing. When was the last time you smoked? He stops and thinks. It's been decades. Me too. Where do you even get pot now? Is that even what the kids call it these days? I don't know.
Hey.
But I bet I could find out. You want to get high and listen to our new records? What is he gonna prefer? Well, he recommended it, right? He pulls out his phone and starts texting. The police.
Hey.
After a few minutes, he looks up and smiles.
Hey.
Molly's got a hookup. Says to meet in an alley near the coffee shop.
Hey.
Okay, if it turns out it's the feds, you make a break for it and I'll take the heat. Just promise me that you'll raise Amanda like she was your own. You realize that weed has been legalized in this state, right? I knew that.
Hey.
But we live in dangerous times. Who knows what lurks in the seedy underbelly of Maple Bay? We could find ourselves on the wrong end of a deal gone bad. Just look out for Amanda. I swear.
Wait, what?
Here's our guy. Coming around the corner of one of those nasty grease dumpsters, shrouded in darkness, is a lean figure dressed in all black. Black. Excuse me, Mr. Drug Man. Surprised, the person almost jumps out of their skin. It's Lucian. Who sent you?
What?
We're cool, man. Says who? For all I know, you could be with the feds. Actually, weed is leg. Prove you're cool. I need to know that you're down or I bolt. Look, man, we're trying to buy drugs from you and we know you sell drugs. You have dirt on us, we have dirt on you. We're in this together. It's fine, I get it. Buzzcut Molly said you were coming. Right, now that formalities are out of the way, let's make a deal. Alright, how much do you want? One. One drug, please. He means weed, Lucian. But how much?
Hey.
One. Look, here, take this and give me $10. Just don't tell my dad. Let's all forget this ever happened.
Hey.
I won't tell your dad if you don't. He hands me a baggie of something and disappears down the alleyway. I open it up and take a deep whiff. Smells like genuine drugs, yes sirree.
Hey.
That went smooth. We should get off of public property before we smoke this.
Oh.
Great idea. Let's head back to my place. Matt and I walk to our cul-de-sac and stop at a gas station on the way to buy rolling papers and soda. Feel like I'm 16 again. Carmencita's having a sleepover tonight, so I guess that gives us all the time we need to do drugs.
Hey.
Awesome, let's do some drugs. That's a cool keyboard mount back there. Matt pulls one of the records out of his bag and puts it on for us. I plop down on a comfy leather couch and look around his place. There are a bunch of band posters and his record collection takes up an entire wall. What a collection. Been collecting my whole life. It was nice to finally get them all in one place after being on the road for so much of my life. Had to ask my parents to hold on to them for me. Matt sits down next to me and we lay the marijuana drugs out on the coffee table. Do you want to do the honors? Please, it's your house.
Hey.
You say so.
Huh?
Matt pulls out some rolling papers and sprinkles some of the beatnik tobacco onto a piece. He starts rolling it back and forth onto the paper, rolling it back and forth and the paper breaks almost immediately, spilling drugs all over the couch.
Hey.
They keep calling it drugs, it's really awkward. Never was too good at this.
Hey.
He tries again and is able to successfully roll a nice-looking weed cigarette. He hands me a lighter and the blunt, I think, and I take it. Well, let's... Yes, let's do that. I light the joint and inhale deeply. This is not what I remembered. It's been a while, though. It's been a while. Maybe pot drugs have just gotten more potent since the last time I smoked. I pass it to Matt and cough a little. Should it sting this much, or am I just a baby?
What?
Matt takes a hit and his eyes go wide. That's not weed. Oh God.
Oh.
Did we develop a taste for meth? No, it's...
Hey,
This is oregano. I sniffed the air. That would definitely explain why it smells like pizza place in here. That punk ripped us off.
Hey.
Oh well, we can still relax and enjoy the music sober. You know what? You're right.
Hey, yeah.
We sit and listen through the Diet Sig album that Matt bought, which is catchy as hell. I look around the room again and see photos of Carmencita growing up. I spot a young woman with a huge smile in one of the pictures with the two. Who's that? That's Rosa. She was Carmencita's mother. She died when Carmencita was young. Sorry to hear. Amanda lost Alex at a young age too. I can understand how hard that must have been. I look around again, spotting a framed gig poster hanging on the wall. On it, there's an illustration of Matt and Rosa surrounded by flowers. The cursive lettering reads, "Stillness the Dancing." Looks like they played the Soundgarden over a decade ago. Were you two in a band? Yeah, that was the reason I was touring so much when I was younger. We traveled the whole country in this rinky-dink little van. It was hard to start, but once we started gaining notoriety and seeing how much our songs meant to kids, it was just incredible. That seems like a life some people only dream of.
Hey, dude.
It was, and it was difficult at the time. I couldn't have done it without someone by my side. Rosa and I knew that we couldn't do it forever. The long hours on the road, missing your family, sleeping in the van, all that stuff.
Oh, man.
So once she became pregnant with Carmencita, we put down roots in our favorite town to play in, right here. Since she was a kid, Rosa always had a dream to own a quiet little coffee shop. She died before it opened. Sorry. Don't be. I'm not really sure what to say. I couldn't possibly count the number of times I told people the same thing after Alex died.
Hey.
Matt gets up to flip the record. Next to the turntable, I notice a dusty piano. Do you play? I'm out of practice.
I don't know if I should.
I used to jam on the keys back in the day. Oh yeah? I fronted the hottest 7-piece ska band that Eagle Rock Bay High School had to offer.
Oh.
No way, you had a ska phase? Ska never dies.
Hey, yeah.
Except for Ska-Munist Manifesto, who broke up after that senior talent show to pursue solo careers.
Oh!
That's so rad. Matt pulls out the piano bench.
Hey, yeah.
Give me some of that two-tone love. Let's see if I still got it.
Hey.
I sit down. I start playing Chopsticks. What a jam! All right, buddy, can you top that? I shouldn't.
I don't know if I should.
Come on. It's been a long time. Okay, sorry to put pressure on you.
Oh.
It's not a problem. It was good to watch you get back in touch with the music that flows through you. I learned to play that song when I was 15.
Hey.
Matt and I sit and listen to more records until it gets late and I decide that I need to get to bed. Matt walks me to my door.
Oh.
Let's never tell anyone about the oregano, okay? Deal. Wait, can I tell my doctor? I don't know anything about the health effects of smoking oregano, and
Hey, dude.
I think we'll be fine.
Oh.
Not, dude. I smile. I walk inside and the house is dark, save for the sliver of light coming from beneath Amanda's door. I knock lightly on the door and enter her room. She's sitting at her desk with her camera, editing photos. Hey! She swivels around in her chair and to face me and slumps down. What smells like a pizza parlor in here? Nothing. So, what's up? Dad, I'm hungry.
What?
Wait, no. Hi, hungry.
Hey.
No, I'm Dad. She collapses on the floor. I promised myself I'd never let it come to this. Sorry, you set it up. I spike it down. You're a monster. Want some spaghetti? Yes, please. Amanda and I boil pasta and heat up sauce in a pan. Well, I boil pasta and heat up sauce while Amanda watches. Despite my best efforts, I'm not able to set it on fire. How was record collecting? It was great. Did you know that Matt used to play in a band? No way. Was it good? I don't know if the band was good, but he played some piano for me tonight, and it was amazing. No, he did not play. He played for you? Yeah, I brought it up that he should play at the open mic night that's happening in his coffee shop, but he got kind of weird about it. No, none of this happened. None of this happened. I saw a flyer for that. We should go. It's not too late to start a father-daughter punk band and play a couple tunes. Yeah, let me break out my glockenspiel. I think I only know hot cross buns, but we can work off the chord progression. Amanda and I have a nice dinner before she goes back to her room to do photography stuff. I end up watching True Life. I'm a house hunter. They're staging an intervention for the house hunter who is crying uncontrollably over the color of the walls. They know they can paint the walls of the house any color they want, right? Matt's song is stuck in my head all night.
That was a hell of a date.
Should have been an S, but okay. It's a beautiful night and the air smells fresh, so I had to take the long way home. I casually strolled through the neighborhood, taking in the sights. As I approach the bar, I can hear patrons inside cheering. I bet the game is on. Wonder if my team is playing tonight. A drop of water hits my head, and now it's lots of drops of water. It's pouring. Maybe I should wait this out inside. I order a beer from the bar and settle in. Turns out that my team isn't playing tonight, but I can certainly enjoy the game regardless. The bar is unusually crowded, and the feelings of camaraderie over a shared love for the game makes me smile. Sports are nice. I look over into the corner and spot none other than Mary, sitting alone and in the corner nursing a cocktail. Something about her seems different this time. Now that she's by herself and not hanging off some younger guy, she looks sad.
Hey.
She looks up and half-heartedly raises her glass to me before staring off into middle distance. I decide to go say hello. I walk over to her booth. She doesn't look up. The seat taken? She still doesn't look up. I take a seat anyways and she finally notices.
Oh.
Hey, cowboy. You alright? Never better. She hiccups. Guess she's a little far gone.
Hey.
Tears start welling up in her eyes. Oh, we're doing this now. Will you walk a gal home? I just got here. I slide out of the booth. Seems like Mary's having some trouble getting up. I reach out a hand to help her, but she waves me away. I got it. She clearly does not got it. You know what? Hang out here for a second. I walk over to the bartender and pay Mary's tab. I don't know if you remember me, but I live in Mary's cul-de-sac and I'm just making sure she gets home safe tonight. I know you. It's nothing weird, just... She usually has one of the bar staff walk her home, but I trust you. She doesn't, go home with... I don't really want to say it. One of the guys she meets. Nah. Ain't her thing. I head back to the booth. Mary stumbles out of the seat and directly into my arms. It's still raining a little bit. I take off my coat and hold it over Mary's head. Such a gentleman. Let's get you home. Mary and I walk in silence up the street toward the cul-de-sac. I have no idea what to say to her, for fear that she might hit on me. Or not. What did the bartender mean by ain't her thing? Sorry you have to see me like this. I'm usually not... I know Joseph doesn't like it when I just... Sorry. It's alright. Sorry if I'm ever mean to you. All the time. No, it's not. I know it's not. I'm just having a really... Forget it. As we get to the cul-de-sac, I can feel... Sometimes they use hyphens for it. Sometimes they don't. The inconsistencies drive me crazy. I can feel Mary starting to slow down. By the time we arrive at the doorstep, she pulls away from me. Can we just... Hold on.
Hey.
How about another drink? Old time's sake? Ah, yes, that old time's sake, 1 week ago. It's bedtime. She looks me up and down, giving me a half smile. You're right. She pulls me in close for a hug, holding on to me for a little longer than feels appropriate. She mumbles into my chest.
Hey.
You're a good kid. Thanks for the company. She gives me a pat on the back, straightens out her sweater, and walks the rest of the way.
Welcome.
How random.
You got dads.
We could do another. It's gonna be a little long. I have a message from Brian. I've been dreading this day. I accidentally boasted about my abilities as a fisherman to Brian, and now he's challenging me to another dad-off. I've been doing my fishing research online, but I'm nowhere close to being an expert. Still, though, I have to accept. I type back to Brian. Sounds great. Super excited. And my lawn could use another good mowing. That'll show him. Brian responds, letting me know that tomorrow he'll pick us up at an hour I had previously forgotten existed. That's gonna be a rough start. Amanda comes into the room from the kitchen, eating a cheese stick by biting it off piece by piece like some kind of monster. I didn't raise you like that. What? It's called string cheese and not chompy cheese for a reason. Honestly, why are you playing with your food and pulling it off like a child? It's a cheese stick, just eat it.
Ugh.
Did you just call me in here to criticize my controversial string cheese eating technique or what? No, Amanda, we have to go fishing tomorrow. Well, you have to go fishing. I get to play with Brian's dog. How do I become a master of fishing overnight? You went fishing in the Girl Scouts, didn't you? Nope. My stint in the Scouts was brief and purely transactional. Thought I could get free cookies, but I didn't know I had to, be outside and tie knots and stuff. But I have to beat Brian. Dad, let me tell you a story. Do you remember last summer how I applied for a job at that coffee shop across town? Give me a refresher. During the interview, they asked me if I knew how to work an espresso machine, and I really wanted the job, so I lied and said yes. On that first morning, there was a line out the door, and within an hour, I severely burned my hand, and they told me to go home and never come back. I still have a scar. Of course I remember. What does that have to do with fishing? The burn is a metaphor, Dad. I don't get it. You can lead a horse to water. What do horses have to do with fish and burns? Dad, please. I don't get your obsession with competing against Brian. You wouldn't understand. It's a dad thing. Please try explaining. Okay, Brian's he just thinks that he's so much better than me, and he purposefully reminds me of that whenever he can. It's like he has to one-up me. I have to beat him at his own game. But he's nice, so who cares? Is that what you think is happening here? No, Amanda. Okay. I know that's what's happening. Alright, we should both be getting some sleep. See you in the morning. Night. I brush my teeth and throw on some pajamas. I climb into bed, set my alarm, and close my eyes. Okay, sleep. I am wide awake. I can't help but think about the last time I went fishing, hoping that there's something I can glean from it to give me an edge over Brian. I was about 9 years old. My dad woke me up one morning and told me to get dressed and meet him downstairs. It was still dark out. I have no idea what was going on, but before I knew it, we were both alone on a freezing cold lake. I had to sit there for hours while it got hot and muggy, the air thick with bugs. I picked at mosquito bites while my dad sat in a stony silence, fishing pole in one hand and a beer in the other. On the long drive home, my father brought me a pack of cigarettes and didn't say a thing. That didn't help, and I think I have some repressed sadness about my father. I'll deal with that later. I'm sitting on a boat in the middle of the body of water. I can't see any land. I know it's a lake. The water is placid and still. I'm holding a fishing pole. I don't understand why, but it feels like my life depends on catching fish right now. I cast my lure into the water and wait. My whole being is filled with hopelessness as I watch the line disappear into the depths below. You used the wrong lure. I look up and see my father, just as he looked that one cold morning. I'm panicking. I pull the lure up and try to grab a different one, but all the lures in my tackle box are the exact same. I look up to my father for guidance, but he's gone. I try casting again, but I can't hold my footing. My boat tips over and I fall into the water, sinking further and further. I see the multitudes of fish that had been lying just below the surface all swimming around me. One fish swims up to me. He has Brian's eyes. You gotta use a neutral buoyancy lure if you're trying to catch trout, buddy. Ow, that hurt my ears. That was something. I jolt awake to the sound of my alarm. It's fishing day. That explained the weird dream. I groggily slip on the clothes and get ready. I spot Amanda's door half open and see her still curled up in the mountain of blankets. Walking over to her bed, I give her a tiny kiss on the forehead. Fishing day, you ready? No. Well, you gotta. I can't do this without you. Also, stop sleeping in your clothes. Amanda pulls her comforter over her head. Never. I'll get up in a minute. Alright, Brian should be here in 20, so you better not just go back to sleep. Amanda sticks her hand through the blanket to wave me away. I leave her room and make myself some coffee and another cup with lots of cream and sugar for Amanda, whenever she gets up. Amanda eventually wanders in and chugs her coffee while I do word jumbles. I hear the doorbell ring. That must be Brian. Still rubbing our eyes, we walk outside to see Brian. He's decked out in fishing gear. Daisy's falling asleep next to him. Early bird gets the worm. You ready? I was born ready. Her eyes narrow in on Brian. It's a good day to die. Hop on in, guys. Let's get this fishing party started. I walk over to the driver's side door and open it. Woof, woof. Brian's dog immediately hops into the driver's seat, wagging his tail furiously. Can I see your license, sir? Maxwell, let karate sit. He obediently hops into the back to cuddle with Daisy. Amanda settles in next to Maxwell and Daisy and immediately falls asleep. You ready for an adventure? I'm ready for glory! Tank, you want to lie down? You want to lie down, buddy? Yeah? Okay, there we go. I struggle to stay awake as we drive to the outskirts of town. Country music plays quietly from the radio as I watch trees pass by. So where exactly are we headed? It's about an hour north of here. Little spots I've been going to since I was a kid. My dad used to take me there all the time. I don't think anybody else knows about it. I brought everything we need so that we can catch some trout, have a nice little fire, and enjoy the nature. My fishing pole's in the shop, getting it tuned up. You maybe have an extra I could borrow? But of course. It's probably not as nice as it sounds like yours is, though. Right. I'm digging a hole here. I stare out at the forest lining the highway. The sun is just barely over the horizon, scattering dusky pink light through the trees. For a split second, I spot a deer grazing on the side of the road before it leaps back into the brush. After a nice quiet drive, Brian eventually tells me to pull off the highway and onto a dirt road. The car bumps along until we reach a clearing that opens up to a magnificent lake. Well, here we are. I step out of the car and help Brian unload our gear as Maxwell runs around us barking. The kids wake up and wander to the shore, where Daisy tries to teach Amanda how to skip rocks. Brian and I carry the tackle boxes and cooler down to the edge of the lake, where he has a canoe waiting. It's still in one piece. Hold on, help me out with Maxwell. I help him put a dog vest on. Woof! Alright, your turn. Brian hands me a lime green life vest. If I fall in, I'm counting on you to rescue me. Suit yourself. Brian turns to Amanda and Daisy, who are still skipping rocks. You kids want to fish?
Ugh.
I'm good with just throwing rocks into the water. Amanda hurls a rock into the pond with gusto. Take that, water. Amanda, you're supposed to be skipping them.
Ah.
Is that what we're doing? Daisy, don't you want to fish? I think catching fish is kind of inhumane. We're gonna go explore in the woods and look at bugs and stuff. Alright, be safe, don't go too far. Brian puts the life vest around himself and we throw all of our equipment into the canoe. Maxwell happily jumps in and takes his place looking out over the front of the boat. I get into the canoe as Brian shoves off. We paddle together to get ourselves in the middle of the lake. I think that depends. I think if you're catching fish to eat, that makes far more sense than catch and release. Yet everyone thinks catch and release is the more humane thing, but you're literally hooking a fish in the mouth with a barb. And then, like, alright, I'll see you next week so I can do it all over again. I don't know. Most freshwater fish usually feed at dusk and dawn, which is why I had to get you up so early. Yeah, I know. That's pretty common fisherman knowledge, after all. Fisherman knowledge that I am knowledgeable about. Still a gambling man? You know it. Let's see who can catch more. You can catch more than one? Sounds easy enough. What's on the line? Besides all the fish I'm gonna catch. I was thinking something a little more high stakes. Custody of our children? More than that. Let's say, if I win, I get your weed whacker. The Whackmaster 2000, that's a limited edition. But if you win, you get my pole saw, the Reach and Cut 3000. The cordless? That's the one. Shit. The Reach and Cut 3000 is state of the art. My weed whacker is a prized possession, but there are those hard to reach branches at the back of the yard that have been begging for a pruning. You're on. We shake on it. I suddenly remember that I don't know how to fish. My foolish fatherly pride will one day be my undoing. I watch as Brian ties a lure and does some stuff that I can't quite follow with his fishing pole. He casts it into the lake. Now I have to do that. I stare down at the tackle box and at the pole. I fish a worm from the styrofoam container Brian bought. It's slippery, but I think I can get it onto the hook if I focus. Oh god, I'm bleeding. The blood's everywhere. The worm's not on the hook. Need some help? I meant to do that. The blood attracts the fish. They can smell it up to a mile away, you know. I think that's sharks. It's definitely fish. Now what? I take my pole and try to tie an elaborate-looking knot to impress Brian. The classic hunter's bend. I learned that one in my youth. Yup, this one isn't coming apart anytime soon. With this knot, I'll cast my heavenly line upon the unsuspecting water and deliver unto us a bountiful harvest. I look over to Brian. He doesn't seem to be paying attention. Let's cast this sucker. I pull my rod back and launch the lure as hard as I can.
Whoa!
And the lure flies off the line and sails far, far away. Sorry, I judged the wind speed wrong. Go ahead and take my pole. I know it's hard switching to a new pole you're not used to. I'll fix up another lure. He hands me his pole with a smile and I just sit there feeling like an idiot. Fishing around here is easy. They group up. All you gotta do is line up 3 of the same species and reel them in. I need to match 3 of the same species. Oh, I can't tell them apart.
Match that fish.
Wait, what? So they can't... Wait, what? So you can't do... What the... Oh, it swaps their position! Okay, stop talking. Okay, I get it now. Hold on. Like so.
Match of the day. Nice catch. Catch of the day.
Come on. Boy, I'm struggling here. Finally, I found one. Okay.
Now you're fishing. Rainbow trout.
Cancel. Is it trying to...
Nice match. Catch of the day. Nice match. Catch of the day.
Alright, let me take a look here. Take a look.
Match of the day. Rainbow trout. Nice match.
Oh. No. Nope. Cancel. Did I do good? This is way tougher than I thought. I look over to Brian, who's smiling and obviously enjoying his time out here on the lake. I will crush him. Suddenly, the fishing pole jumps in my hand. I reflexively tug upwards. I think I got something big. The tip of the pole dips down repeatedly and the line starts to run. Reel it in. I finally get the fish right up next to the boat. It's a long, beautiful rainbow trout. Brian hands me a net. It's all yours. I lean down and notice that my hands are shaking with excitement. This fish is bigger than all the ones Brian's caught. That pole saw is mine. The entire canoe tips over with me. I find myself sinking into the lake. I should have taken the life vest. I thought he did. All of a sudden, I'm embraced under the water and pulled into Brian's arms. I'm finally dragged upwards, sputtering water. All of our gear floats on the surface. Maxwell doggy paddles around us in circles. You alright? Does that count as one? Well, seeing as if all our fish are now swimming safely back in the lake, I guess so. Brian laughs. Let's get you to shore. Brian and I flip the canoe back over and fill it with our now soaking wet gear. We row back to shore with Maxwell in tow. Once we get to the beach, Maxwell darts off into the woods. Brian takes off his shirt. Dots of lake water glisten in the sun across his strong back. Man, all that general contracting must have built that guy like an ox. Reminds me of Andy Dwyer. I hope he doesn't notice me staring. I'm gonna get a fire going so we can dry off. Wanna hand me yours? Okay. I reluctantly take off my own shirt and toss it to Brian. I suddenly wish I had done more sit-ups in my life, or any sit-ups at all. Really? Another thing you've bested me in, stupid sexy Brian. Glanders. You might as well fry that shirt up, seems like it's the only lunch we'll have. And yet, look at me, I'm in a button-up shirt with a blazer. The day's young, we can fish from the shore. Once Brian gets the fire going, I sit and try to dry off my pants. Brian sets a couple lures out by the water's edge. We're probably gonna have to put the kibosh on the competition for now. Until another day. My stomach growls.
Okay.
You hungry? Oh, I'm fine. Brian reaches into his cargo shorts and pulls out a few granola bars. I have a small child. I'm flushed with snacks. Brian joins me by the fire and I accept cargo short granola. And now we're back to waiting. Where did the girls get off to? Shouldn't they be back by now? I wouldn't worry about it too much. They're a couple of smart kids. That's what I'm worried about. They're too smart. They'd probably established a small rural government by this point and installed themselves as leaders. I take a look around the sun cresting the tree line, casting the entire lake in a warm golden glow. The forest seems to be coming alive now. Birds chirp in the distance. Nature is beautiful. A mosquito bites me. I slap my neck and curse. Nature sucks. Here you go. Brian hands me a bottle of bug spray. I begrudgingly take it and douse myself. I've always hated how this stuff smells. Really? I always kinda liked it. Reminds me of being outside. Maybe you and I have different sentiments on the outdoors. Maxwell comes bounding up to me, a huge stick in his mouth. He drops it at my feet and looks at me expectantly. Yeah, I hate the smell of bug spray, sunscreen, all that stuff smells awful. Wow, that's mean. I hurl the stick as hard as I can towards the tree line. Maxwell bolts after it, running as fast as his stubby little legs can carry him. Which, consequently, is not very fast. It is very cute, though. Nice throw! I turn away so he can't see me blush. Maxwell brings the stick back, clearly proud of himself. Good boy, who's a good boy? You're a very good and speedy boy. It's time for the pets. What's the plan? Yeah, the butt pats. If he was a cat, sure, I'd go straight for the face and ear. But he's a dog. Gotta go for the butt scratch. I give Maxwell a few good pats on his backside. While I'm playing with Maxwell, fish begin routinely pulling on Brian's lines. I watch Brian effortlessly fillet the fish, squeezing a bit of lemon on them and frying them up in a cast iron pan. Before we know it, we have a feast fit for a couple shirtless dudes. Amanda and Daisy emerge from the woods looking totally unscathed. Whoa, Dad Bod Patrol, I'm gonna have to issue you both a citation and demand you both put your shirts on. There are children present. Brian tosses me my now dry shirt. I pull it over my head, thankful that I will no longer be distracted by Brian and his pecs. Where have you guys been? Studying entomology. The study of bugs. We're playing with bugs. I expected you guys to be more covered in, like, mud. Daisy looks offended. What do you take me for? A child? Amanda puts a hand on Daisy's shoulder.
Oh.
Right. We take a seat around the fire and Brian serves us all generous piles of fish on paper plates. It's absolutely delicious. Why does he have to be good at everything? Fish taste okay? Daisy and Amanda both nod furiously, mouths full of fish. It's incredible. I've never had fish this good. Yeah, it's great. Old Harding family recipe. Why are your pants wet? Oh, old Harding pee the pants recipe. Well, Amanda, we were out there on the lake and then I accidentally tipped over the boat. Don't worry, all the gear floated up to the surface, so we didn't lose anything. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Can't believe he just covered for me. Gosh, he even out-humbles me. He's tried to beat me at everything, including my world-famous sense of humility. We finish our fish and end up playing catch with Maxell for a little while. After cleaning, we pack up the station wagon. The poor pup falls asleep into a cuddled puddle. Been an ordeal today, bud. Let me drive you guys home. I want to prove that I'm the most awake dad on the block, but yeah, I'm beat. Fine. As we drive away, I take one last look at the lake disappearing behind us and smile. I rest my head against the window and low rumble of the dirt road beneath us lulls into a peaceful sleep. Hey, sleepyhead. I open my eyes and realize that I had dozed off in the car. I self-consciously wipe a bit of drool off my chin. I was resting my eyes. Just in case we suddenly have a jump into any sort of conflict, I'm super awake for it. And ready to fight. With my strong arms. It's all good. You earned some rest, buddy. Thanks for coming out with us today. I had a lot of fun with you. Thanks for inviting us. I also had fun. Glad to hear. Take it easy. You too. Take it the easiest. He chuckles to himself. Amanda and I get inside. Long day. I was so close to that pole saw. Brian and I were competing to see who can catch the most fish. Stop. Why do you care so much? Amanda, just look at the guy. He's so obviously got my number and he's rubbing my face in it. Dad, I love you. But you're kinda dumb sometimes. Or clearly the superior dad. You know what? I don't have any of the energy required to properly unpack your weird fixation with asserting your masculinity. I'm going to bed. Night. She slides off the couch and face down onto the floor. I am a tired slug. Amanda, that floor is disgusting. I don't care. Well, night. Night, Pops.
You know what? Let me mow your lawn this weekend.
Damn right with the rank S.
Welcome.
Thank goodness. As you may have been able to tell, I started speaking very lowly at the end of that because I'm losing my voice now, and I needed it to stop. And they were saying so many words unnecessarily, I had to just stop. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for next time, when we'll probably take care of Robert, and maybe even Damien as well, depending on how long it is. So, stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye!